like properly, I think is their desire, or is their why is not that, when it's not that strong, so they're not
Yeah,
bothered.
definitely.
So
I know. I think if we can create the right environment, for example, in our team at the moment, we've had so Addy introduced a lady called Adishola, and she very quickly introduced another lady, and then that lady introduced another one, then that introduced another guy, and each of them have gone. They've gone QD star. They've
mhm.
gone Dammy. They've gone SQD and one of them FT
Hi,
Ultimate.
boss man.
So yeah, so that's good. Hi, Dammy. Good to see you on, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, same here.
It is like having family back when you come, my friend. We miss you.
Same here, bro. Thanks, boss.
Hey, that's good.
Evening,
It's good
everyone.
to have you on.
Yeah, yeah.
And Adi as well. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah,
Good evening, Mike. Good evening, everybody.
yeah. Good evening.
Hey.
Evening.
That's good. So tonight it's going to be a short one because I'm trying not to cough. I'm loaded with the flu. I'm loaded with the cold. My head's banging. I've been in bed for the last 2 days. So it's going to be a short one, but it's always good to see everybody. Again, every week we come here, it's going to be about the basics, because if we get the basics right, as someone once taught me years ago, if you get the foundations right, you can build an incredible structure on top of it. And both you, Addy, and Dammy will know all about that because you're both pastors. So that comes with a territory, right? In our own way, each and every one of us is a pastor, right? Okay, so let's see what somebody else joining us as well. We have Elizabeth. Good evening, Elizabeth. How are you?
Fine. Good evening.
Hello. Now then, which Elizabeth is it? What's your second name, Elizabeth?
Egeolu.
Sorry?
Egeolu.
Ah, wonderful. It's yourself. Good. And we have, my goodness, we have someone who just got promoted this morning. Olamipo, welcome. And Abida as well. So tonight, guys, as I said, hi, Abida. Tonight, and actually each and every week, because now
Hi, everyone.
there's the star of my life right now, right? And I'm going to share this lady's story. She's just a little bit of it, but this lady doesn't realize how much she inspires me. We have a lady, Adi Shola, who's joined us from her hospital bed. So she's not
Hello.
keeping great at the moment. So our prayers go to you. But this
Thank
lady,
you.
I know, talk about committed. And if you get people in your team with this attitude, it's infectious. It inspires me because there she is lying in her bed. What did she? Now, normally, when you call your husband or your wife and you say, bring up some fruit, some chocolate, I don't know, bring up some, I don't know, what do you call them? Deodorant, some cleaning shower material. No. She said, no, bring my laptop because I want to support some people in my team. I just love it. I just love it. So, oh, forgive me. So great to have you on, all of you. Now, I guess what we've got to do with these sessions is number one, keep them short, sweet, right to the point. Number two, we need to cover the basics. All right. So let's just write these down so I remember what I've said. Short and sweet. We need to cover the basics and we need to build the vision. What can we do? So hopefully you have all got a pen and paper, a notepad near you. And when you hear me say that, You're scrambling now to find one, right? But anytime you go to a training, always grab, because as it says on the screen, a short pencil is much better than a long memory. All right. And it has been indeed scientifically proven that if you take notes, you can read them afterwards. All right. So there you go. Who knew I'd be a scientist? So tonight, excuse me, if I can last it, tonight, forgive me, I want to stress for me, and I'm not right or wrong, it's just my humble opinion. So if you've got different opinions, I welcome them. But for me, I believe enthusiasm about your business is even more important than knowledge. Now, don't get me wrong. You constantly, I have an old acronym, CANI, CANI, constant and never ending improvement. You always want to be learning more, getting more knowledge, understanding more. But that comes with time, so does experience. So these things are great. But let me ask you this question. If your friend showed you something and they knew everything, right? And hey, we've all got a friend that thinks they know everything, right? But they sounded really bored. How much would you want to listen to them? I don't know about you, but if I've got a friend who starts rhyming off fact after fact after fact after fact, my brain goes to sleep. Now, I try and make my face look like it's interested, but inside my brain is going, how much longer, right? How much longer? So facts will tell people, but stories will sell people. And what we mean by that is it is far better to share that someone like Shola came into the business and in her first 3 weeks, on top of what she earned, she actually got £700 in bonuses. Now, to me, that is far more exciting and that will grab my attention more than telling me that you get 3% here, 2% there, 1% there, and all the prices of all the unit rates, which I don't even know and I don't need to know. So facts will tell, but stories, enthusiastic ones, will sell. So we're going to be covering all these things, no matter, no matter what you learn, be enthusiastic, but be genuinely enthusiastic. You have found something that can change your life, but you can also share it. It's a gift that you can keep on giving and sharing with people. And so that's a great thing. And that's a great reason to get enthusiastic, to get excited. So hopefully I've hammered that point home. Second, we said the basics and keep it simple. Don't get complicated. Keep it really simple. Every time I do the presentation, I show the whole presentation. I never skip and shortcut and go straight to the quote. Because if you do that, the person you're talking to hasn't got the context of why we are different. So the basics, duplication, the more simple you keep it, the easier it is to duplicate. And probably the best example of duplication, I guess, has to be McDonald's. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting you eat McDonald's. Okay, once in a while, right? But it's the most successful franchise in the world. Why? Because no matter which, excuse me, no matter which restaurant you go into, anywhere in the world, you ask for a Big Mac, it's the same Big Mac. They don't have great chefs in some restaurants and not so great chefs in others. The chefs are irrelevant. It's a system and a process. And so no matter where you go, you get the same one. And that's the same with our business. No matter who shows you this business, they should be able to simply go through that presentation, show you what we offer, give you all the benefits, and then, hey, run a quote. And hopefully they will see the benefits. Now, I guess I'm not the only one here that has shown someone a great presentation with great savings, And they said, I'll need to think about it. All right. And your brain is saying to you, what is there? Think about it. It's cheaper, right? But you smile and you say, okay, okay. Now, I've got a little bit more bold because when you have confidence in what you do, I actually say to them, that's great. So if I was talking to Dammy and Dammy said, yeah, I'll have a think about that. I just say, hey, Dammy, listen, tell me, I've saved you 700, 800, 1,000, whatever the figure is, and it's the same services. What do you need to think about? Is there something maybe that I haven't explained to you? And often people will say to you, actually, it makes sense. It's just their automatic knee-jerk reaction that they will say, I need to think about it. Yeah, that's just the way it is. It's like if you ask someone, when have you got time so I can show you this? They say, I'll let you know. It's the normal knee-jerk reaction. So, of course, what do? We don't ask them when's good. We say which is best, afternoon or evening, Monday or Tuesday. Give them two options. With two choices, it is easy for people to make that decision. And we do all of these things. You can learn to get better and better at these things just by coming here, just by doing presentations is the best way, and keeping in touch with your upline TL, the person who sponsored you, and these things. So that's enthusiasm, basics, and duplication. Training and events. I'm going to challenge you. If you're on this call tonight, I'm going to challenge you. Before you go to sleep tonight, book your ticket for Amplify if you haven't already done so. And I know some of you will have. But if you haven't, here's what most people do. They leave it to the last minute and then there's a ticket. There's no tickets to get. And we have to scramble around trying to find one. But commit yourself to this business. You only paid £10, but treat it like you'd spent 100 grand starting it. If you spent £100,000 and they said, there's a conference coming up in April, you would say, when and how do I get the ticket? That's just what you'd do. So I would suggest maybe take that attitude, book the ticket, and then afterwards your brain will work out for you how you're going to get there. All right. And just for reference, Saturday, the 20th of April is the date you want to write down. You can also go on the Sunday if you want. Most of the team that I've booked are going on the Saturday. So it'd be great if we could all meet up, have some cold drinks, have a bit of a laugh. You know me, I like to hug everyone, right? Dami will testify to that one. Adi will as well. So I want to hug everyone, and I promise I'll get rid of my cold and flu before that comes. So that's training and events. Other events, other trainings that you could do, and don't wait for us to prompt you. At any given time on the partner portal, there's two places on the partner portal you can do loads of training. One is in the learning portal. There's loads of stuff you can do online, little videos you can watch there. Let me tell you, the answer to any question that you've got, oh, forgive me, any question you've got in your head, the answer is on that learning portal. But sometimes it's good to have interactive ones. And so that's where the live training and events scenario is. Now, there are different types of events on there. You have got buzz events. Now, a buzz event, let me break that down. Am I a great fan of that name? I accept it. But here's what it is. It's two things. Number one, it's an opportunity presentation for you to take guests to who you maybe have, and they're thinking, yeah, I'd like to know a little bit more. Take them along, let them get to be a part of it. And the second thing, there's a short training at the end. All right. So you get the best of both worlds. Now, if you take a guest along, I'm going to give you a great tip I use as well on this one. They're once a month in your area. There's one in every area. So just go on the live training and events and look down for buzz events and just look for the one nearest where you live. I have no idea. My geography is pretty garbage. All right. But you guys are all far nearer one than I am. Now, There's also insights, and these are short 30, 60, and 90-minute trainings. There's one called Launching Your UW Business. That's a great one to start with. There's one on goal setting. There's one on, oh gosh, help me out here. My brain's going dead. There's one on getting multi-service customers, why it's important to get multi-service customers, both for the customer and for you. But there's lots of different ones. And then there's the bigger events as well. Going back to the buzz events. So here's the tip I do. If I say, and I always say John or Mary, but let's say I invite John and I say, hey, John, you really need to come and have a look at this. You're going to love it. It's going to explain this business better than I ever could, and you'll get to meet other people. So that's great. Now, when I say to John, it starts at 7, let me meet you there about 1:45, 10 to. Firstly, make sure, excuse me, make sure that you're there before your guest. Secondly, say to John, listen, you don't have to come on your own. If you've got any successful friends, anyone who might be interested in an extra income themselves, bring them so you're not on your own. That's two things. Number one, it means they don't feel awkward about coming on their own. But number two, it means you've now got two people watching that presentation instead of just one. And for me, that works because when I introduced somebody recently, said, listen, come along. We've got I call it an open night when I'm talking to a guest. I say, we've got an open night when you can come and have a look at it. I think open night sounds more inviting than a buzz because they're thinking, what on earth is a buzz? So I call it an open night myself. It's not right or wrong. It's just what I do. But by introducing that person and saying, bring one of your friends and listen, bring 2 or 3 if you like, I don't mind. You'll feel more at ease if you've got friends there. Do you know, she came with a friend and both of them joined that night. So it works. It works. So we've covered enthusiasm, basics, duplication, training, and events. Starting partners effectively. There is nothing that hurts me more than when I notice someone has been introduced to the business and then just left on their own. The person who's introduced them has just, there you go, you've signed, and then they don't speak to them again. Now, if you started a job, your first day, if you were just left on your own and you didn't know anyone to talk to, you didn't know anything, how would you feel? You would probably walk away and quit, wouldn't you? Now, there's a couple of reasons people might do that. It's not because they're bad people. Number one, the person who introduced them maybe doesn't know what to do themselves. They maybe just joined themselves. So that's why it's important for them to keep in touch with you. So it might be that they don't know, because just that's just the way it is. So I would say make sure when you introduce someone, get them in. There's a little message that I send to all of my new starts. And if you haven't got it, message me after this. I'll send you it. And by the way, I am not clever in any stretch of the imagination. I'm just simple. Everything that I use more than once, I save in a note. And when someone needs it, I copy paste, copy paste. It's the greatest thing in the world. Copy paste. They think, wow, you typed that quick. Hell no, I didn't. I just copied it and pasted it. All right. So starting people effectively. And what does that mean, starting people effectively? Well, it simply means this. Let them understand what they've got to do. So they've got to verify their ID and do their training. I say within 24 to 48 hours. All right. Because if they don't do it by then, they're probably never going to do it, are they? Just get them to do it. And then book a fast start where you'll go through that fast start plan with them. All right. And if you're not sure how to do that, reach out to someone. We'll happily show you, and then you will know, right? We all learn by learning. It's simple. Evening, Tinyan. So, a nice short one tonight. But one thing that I didn't do that I'm going to do is, it says there, enthusiasm beats knowledge. But the important thing is recognition. Now, this is just the people who've joined this month. Now, listen, there's a couple of people jumped on here that I invited from the Champions Group, and each and every Thursday we do this. We like to recognize everybody who's joined in the last week, this month, basically. So if oh, forgive me, if you're going to be jumping on and you've got some of your new people coming on any Thursday, as long as you get their names to me by Thursday lunchtime, I'll include their names in this list because I don't want anybody to be missed. So make sure that you do that in future. But if your name is on there, then a warm welcome. There's lots of people joined this month, which is fantastic. Not only, and we love recognition in a job. Often you don't get any recognition, do you? You know, it's hard enough for them to say thank you when you've done something. But on top of recognition of people who've joined, here's a list of people who have been promoted this month. So I'm not sure who's on, but if you are on and your name is on there, please feel free to unmute yourself and say hi. So we've got Cynthia and Arends have joined and gone QD. They did that within a few days of joining. Cyril and Dari, Alimipo and Mayoa. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Samuel, Amuwumi, Olawale and Omalara, Bukola.
Hello.
All good. Who's that? Is that Olamipo?
Yes, it is.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you've spoken tonight. Can I ask 2 or 3 little questions for the benefit of those people who might have just joined, literally even more recent than you? What do you do for a living? What is your background?
Well, my background educationally, I'm a food scientist.
Food scientist.
I studied food science and technology, and in my master's I did nutrition and food science. But at the moment, I am working in a care sector as a support worker and still trying to find my career path to food science. Yeah, that's what I do.
Well done. And you will. And you are in great company because many of the people on this call have followed the same path to you. It's a bit of a giveaway with some of the names on that screen that you might know that there might be 1 or 2 other Nigerians in the team, right?
Yes, a lot of
So
them.
that's your 1 or 2. That's your background. And I always ask when someone says to me, "I'm a support worker" or "I work in a factory," I say that's not who you are, that's what you do. But what is your background? And you've alluded to that. So a food scientist with a master's. Congratulations. And what area of the UK are you in?
Leicester, to be precise.
So you're in Leicester.
Near
Well,
Midlands.
you will be glad to know there are quite a few people on this call from Leicester.
Wow.
So I can tell you right now that Adeshola is in Leicester or thereabouts. I can tell you that Nazma and now I'm not. Who else is from that? Who else is from? Let's see. Abida, are you in the Leicester area as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so and I know a few of you got together recently as well. So there are
Navina
good groups. What was that?
Navina. Sorry if I don't. Nazma. Sorry, now Nazma.
Yeah.
Nazma.
So that's good. So there's a few people in that Leicester area. So you're a food scientist. You're working in support work, and you live in Leicester. Have you got any children?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so if anyone thinks they haven't got time for this business, you can now tell them Olamipo has study, work, children, a whole lot more, and still manages to do well in this business. All right, a great start. So well done to you. Well done. Great to see you.
So much,
And you are in great hands, by the way. All right, you're in great hands. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us. So there's lots of people hit QD, and QD, just to break that down for anyone's new, that's just when you've got your first 3 customers first 3 personal customers, and that might include you as a customer as well. And then QD Star, we have got a number of people gone QD Star, and we've got a number of people gone SQD, and a couple of people, oh, forgive me, who have gone future team leader this week as well. Now, is there anyone else whose name is on that screen that's on the call tonight? Maybe? Maybe. Okay, if not, that's okay. Some people are busy doing appointments as well. But as we come up to the half hour, I pretty much want to wrap it up. But before we wrap it up, I'm sorry it has to be quite short, but I'm really struggling to speak. Does anybody have any questions that about the business side that they would like to ask that they're unsure about? And this is where we get a deafening silence, right? Okay. Now, if not, let me tell you something that I find sometimes, and by the way, as much as we are the best business, sometimes you'll get customer issues. That's normal. It's less normal with us than anyone else. We're better than anyone else. But if you get a customer issue, don't hide and leave it alone. If you get one, reach out firstly to customer services. That's what they're for. But let us know. Oh, excuse me. Let us know as well so we can try and support you and help you. Because we want to look after your business. We also want to look after the customer as well, because all of our customers are people that we know, we love, and we care about. It's friends, family, neighbors, and colleagues. So we want to look after them, all right, more than any other company. Now, we are not perfect. Don't expect that. Set the expectation right. We are definitely better than the rest, all right? But if you do get, and there are ways of, and I'm going to do another training another week on it. Next week is different. I'll tell you in a minute. But I'm going to do another training on how to stop issues, problems, whatever you want to call them, before they happen. Wouldn't that be handy to be able to fix a problem before it even happens? And I'm going to cover that. That'll probably be in a couple of weeks' time, because next week I would like you to join specifically next Thursday, because it's the 1 week in a month where we join with Stefan Longworth, and Stefan is one of the top 3 earners in UW. He's got a wealth of money coming in, but more importantly, a wealth of knowledge, and he'll be interviewing some of the top partners in UW. And that might be you one day. I hope so. I hope so. So as we wrap up for tonight, then, let me say thank you. And I saw Adeji joined as well. So forgive me before I start coughing. I'm going to have to go soon. Let me say thank you to each and every one of you that have joined tonight. I really appreciate it. Hi, Susie. Let's focus over the next week on number 1, being enthusiastic about your business. Reach out. Who can you help? How many people can you help? Not just to save money, but to build an income and a legacy in a future business. Number 2, get the basics right. You know, if you get those little basics right, everything else is straightforward. And number 3, build on the vision. Now, I asked earlier if you have a piece of paper in front of you, and I left it purposely for a while, because I want you now, if you've got that paper, to do something for me just before we go. And I'm going to leave this with you. At the top of the piece of paper, I want you to write your number. Now, this is just building a vision for you. So at the top of that, you're going to be the head of your own organization. And underneath that number, your name, I want you to write the number 5. Now, that 5 signifies the 5 people. Now, listen, you can do 10, 20, or 100 if you like, but I'm going to use 5 because that's easy to do, right? This is going to be the 5 people that you're going to introduce, and you're going to help them to build a business as well. So 5 people who want to earn some extra money. Now, What we're going to do with those 5 people is we're going to teach them what you did. We're going to teach them to find 5 people each. So 5 people, finding 5 times 5, that's 25. So underneath the 5, I want you to write 25. Now, we're going to show your 5 people how to show their 5 people how to help 5 other people. So 25 people finding 5 each is another 125. So now you've got on your paper, you've got your name under that 5, under that 25, under that 125, and we'll go one more level. 125 times 5 people is 625. Now, if that's all you stopped at, now we could go to the next level, it would be 3,125, but let's not go there. Let's keep it simple. If you added that up together, 5 plus 25 plus 125 and plus 625, that is a total of 780 partners in your business. Now, here's for some magic. Imagine all anyone ever did was introduce 5 partners, and each partner just got 10 customers. So 780 partners with 10 customers each. You just add a 0 on the end. You would have a group with 7,800 customers. Now, here's the magic. You only introduced 5 partners and you only found 10 customers. That's all each person ever did. Nothing complicated, nothing difficult, just patience. If that was you, that would pay you a residual income. Residual is, it just comes in every time the customers pay their bills. It would pay you a residual income of £2,340 a month, whether you worked or not. So just to get that one more time, you introduce 5, they each introduce 5, that's 25. They introduce 5 each, 125, and 5 each is 625. Total 780 partners. Everybody gets just 10 customers. You've got 7,800 customers, and you earn over £2,000 every month before you get out of bed. Don't know about you, but that sounds pretty amazing. And that's only 5. Can you start to imagine what it would be like if you introduced 10 or 20? I don't know, right? That would blow my mind. So I will leave that with you. We've looked at the basics, getting the little things right, making sure, but then we looked at the vision, what we can achieve for the long term. And you could retire on that and live a pretty darn good life. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I'm going to have to go because I don't think my fruit's going to last much longer. Thank you for joining us. I will send out the link next Thursday. It will be a different link next week, so watch out. We'll be joining Slick, Stefan Longworth's Inner Circle of Knowledge. That is at 8:30. Clear your diaries, get everybody in your team, make sure they're on there, and go for greatness this week. All right. Good night and God bless everybody.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Great to see you back, Dammy. Great to see you back, man.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate
All right.
it.
Thank you very much,
All
Mike.
right. Good night.
Get well soon. Take care.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.